Hello and welcome to today's Techie Tea Party. Today's session is all about Gmail. So if you use Gmail a lot and this is your main email account, you may choose to just skim through some of this or to look more at the materials rather than this video. And during this video today, we're going to be looking at sending emails and some of the different setting options within Gmail that might help you out. How you can add labels and how you can make use of tasks within Gmail. So I've logged into my Gmail account already. On any browser, you can do that by searching gmail.com, or you could have the apps installed at home. I'm going to then come up to where it says compose, and that's how we make our email. So you might be able to search directory here, depending on if you're using Edgebuttons or another system, or you might just need to type the email in. If you're wanting to carbon copy or blind carbon copy, you can also click these buttons. Carbon copy means that the recipient is included within the email, and the people who receive this will know who that's all been sent to. Blind carbon copy means that you're able to send it to people without knowing who else has received it. So as much as possible, we'd recommend using that one there. Subject, what you want to title it, and then the space is where you can type your message. Down below, you'll see that we've got the options of changing our font and what that looks like. We can easily attach things, so I can click that, and that'll go to my documents. We can also get that from our Google Drive if you've got that linked up. So I can go to my PDF guides, and I can easily upload a document to send. You've got the option to add in your links, to add in emojis, again from your Drive online. You can click that and that'll take you there. Images as well. When we click on more options, there's a few different tools that can help us when we're typing. So things like checking spelling, things like looking at this in full screen as well. And what might be most useful is to request a read receipt. So then that means that you'll know whether or not the person has read it who you're sending it to. We can either click send here, that'll just send it directly. The thing I really like is if we click the arrow to the side, we can also schedule the send. So you can imagine if this is something that you've been working at in one evening and you wanted to get to the other person during business hours, you can then set it to be that. So I could also decide Monday morning and then that's scheduled to be sent there. If I do want to undo it, after I've clicked it, I can click undo and it'll pop back up ready for me to then change again. If I, by mistake, press the wrong thing, I can actually then select the time and that would be great and schedule send. So that's the basics there of how you actually send your Gmail. In terms of settings, that might be worthwhile pointing out. To go to settings, you just go to the top right hand corner and the little cog there. We click that. You've got the option to look at display density, which kind of shows you how it looks in different ways. So if I click that, that looks like how it already was. If I go compact, you might see it's changed slightly to make it a bit smaller. We can configure our inbox. Where I was going to take you first was to look at settings. And to be honest, most of what we'd be looking at is under general. So things like what's the default reply behavior. So default to reply would just be to that one specific person who sent it. Reply all would be when you click reply, it goes to all those people who are included. So general, I'd click reply. What different functions you use when you hover over them. Whether or not you want suggestions around grammar and spelling and autocorrect to happen. So these are all really useful to decide whether you want them on or off, depending on how you work best. Nudges. So like who will pop up to suggest that you reply to and so forth. And then down here we've got things like our signature. So if you wanted that set up, which I think is good practice with your contact details, that's how you get to your signature. And out of office replies is the other thing that I'd point out, so that when you're on your holiday, you can set that it replies automatically. So people aren't wondering why you've not got back to them. There is a whole bunch of different settings, and that could probably be a session all around on itself. But for the moment, those are the key things that I wanted to kind of point out to you. And we don't want to discard the changes, so let's save the changes instead. Fantastic. The other thing you'll notice there when I click the little cog, themes came up as well. Themes is just how you want yours to look. You can use your own photos if you want, but there's a large selection. Let's choose this one here and then click save, so you can make it look exactly how you want your emails to look. So the next thing we were going to look at very briefly was just adding labels to your emails. So one way you can do this is by making use of the star functionality. So when you click the stars, it just means that we're then able to see them all together under the starred section. So for me, that's really useful if you've got ones that maybe are a priority at the moment. You just star them and they're ready to go. So I'll unstar that as well. When you're in an email, you've also got the option to add different labels. So you can see that this one's already got 3 labels attached to it. So if I cross that one off just now, labels exist up at the top. So you can see we've got the options to move to. So if I want to move it to a specific folder that I've created, I can do that. Or I could add a label. So I'm going to click a label. And if this was an important document, you see I've searched that, nothing's came up, but it does offer me the option to create it as a new one. So I just click that, the label comes up, and I click create. So then that means now that when I click important document, everything that's been tagged with important document would come up. Really useful in helping you come back to emails that maybe you want to view time and time again. Maybe if you've been sent a set of templates that you're to work with, or maybe some documents that you know you're going to have to keep referring to. That's a really good way of organizing it in your emails. The other thing that we're going to point out is the tasks functionality, which is over here. So if I click tasks, this is where I can add things for us to do. So I can click add task. Remember to send my important emails. And that just comes up as then a to-do list that I can then tick, and it helps me track what I'm doing. I can click the little edit, and then I can add more details, dates, times, subtasks that are involved. The other thing we can do from our inbox is that, if I go back for the moment and cross this off just now, is that we can also drag things across to that, or I thought we could. Yeah, sorry. So you have to click on my task first, then you can drag the email and you can pop that in. So that's really useful if maybe you've got 3 or 4 different emails that you need to reply to. It's a good way of organizing them, and then you can easily tick them off, depending on how you like to organize your emails. So again, that's been a really quick overview of some of the tools within Gmail. There's a lot more, and I'm sure that people who are using it